Good afternoon, or evening, night, whatever. Night call. Good night call to you. Hello, welcome on into the stream. Happy Thursday. Hopefully you're doing well, having a good Thursday. I have a hair in my nose because apparently I turned 30 and all the hair in my nose was like, we got to grow right now. So that's exciting. Welcome to Night Call. This is a game that came to Xbox Game Pass recently. I think it came out on the 24th of June, 26th of June, somewhere in there. One of them there days. It actually may have been later. Could have been the 27th, maybe the 28th, 29th, maybe even the 30th. July 1st? No one could ever know. Because they don't put release dates on video games. They just throw them out into the wind. And they say, play them. Or don't. We don't care. Anyway, so I figured I'd play this. I was pretty excited about it. I'm definitely interested in it. I think we're going to play as a taxi driver. And they're trying to solve a murder or something. But upon looking at the how long to beat thing, I don't know why I'm doing this motion, but I am. How long to beat website. Do you think they have one of those for a porno? Anyway, I am really distracting myself with this motion and then saying how long to beat, and I got very confused. Apparently, it takes about 4.5 hours to play. So I'm gonna probably play this for about 2 hours or so, and then maybe try and get back to it. Get back to it sometime over the weekend. Try and finish that maybe go that direction with it, because 4.5 hours is a little too long to play when I need to get up for work tomorrow. Not that has ever slowed me down, or I'll stop stream and then I'll watch a different stream and upload a video, and then I'm like, well, could have just kept playing that other game. So here we go. We have some options here. We'll check this. Audio master. Why are you so general? English. Text auto speed normal. Text size. Oh. 100% is fine. English. Alright, I guess we're good to go. I have the audio set at the level I have it set, just with the main menu music, so hopefully that'll be fine. Please don't ask me to sign in. Save slot 5. Choose the investigate. Oh. How is it? Okay, choose the investigation. Alright, so we have the judge. Victims all have something in common, and the motive seems clear, but which suspect could have done it? Balanced case, perfect for a first run. The angel of death. Random victims, unknown motive, weird case, slightly more difficult than the others. The Sandman. The victims may feel random at first, but there's a connection. Yet the motives might be hard to find. Dark and twisted case. Surprise investigation. Boo! Surprise! The game will randomly pick an unsolved investigation. The game will randomly pick an investigation no matter solved or unsolved. So I guess we just do the judge? I didn't realize this game was going to be set up like this. That's cool. Maybe we'll just do one. Do one, 2, 3? Are there 3 investigations? Choose the difficulty mode. Story mode. Money will be easy to get by. The investigation will be easier. Every action will take less time for a chiller experience. That's a weird way to phrase that. Balanced. The way Night Call was designed. Hard. Money will be tighter. The investigation will be harder to solve. Every action will cost more time for a more challenging experience. Okay, I will go the way Night Call was designed. I appreciate when people when developers put a difficulty in that's like, this is how we would like you to play it. Like, even like Halo does that, where they're like, heroic is the way this game was meant to be played. You know. The question is going to end up being is how much reading am I going to have to do, you know? I'm Gruff Detective. Detective McGruff. Oh wait, maybe that's not the detective. Night call. Dot dot dot. Oh, I have to read. Here? Sir? Can you hear me? Or do I need to speak up? You're fine. She takes a deep breath. Sir, you just spent 2 weeks in a coma. The world bounces around your head. You need a moment to understand its meaning. Yeah, we'll definitely just do one case at a time. Coma. The word scratches along your throat. Yes, you were the victim of an assault. The word resonates in your head. Victim. You are aware a serial killer is currently on the loose in Paris. You feel the contents of your stomach crawling up your throat. The judge, as the police called the killer... Oh, okay. The judge, as the police called the killer, assaulted you. The bullet touched your liver and, in most circumstances, it would have been fatal. We chose to put you in an induced... Her voice becomes more distant, fades. You taste bile in the back of your mouth. Your head is brimming. You hear a whistle in one ear. Your fingers move toward your wound. Underneath the bandages, you can feel hard skin. It is incredibly painful. I'm sorry? Did they catch the judge? No. What about my passenger? He was dead before you even got out of your cab. Oh, fucking rip. The doctor is silent for a second. A very awkward second. She hesitates. The police would like to see you as soon as possible to ask you some questions. After all, you're the only one who's survived the judge. Noise in the hallway attracts your attention. You try to turn your head, to no avail. You need to rest. She leaves the room. Her voice resonates in the hallway. I don't care. He's the only witness. He's... Another female voice joins in, a strong, authoritarian voice. You can't clearly make up what she's saying. A strange feeling washes over you. It's not pain, not fatigue, some odd combination of the two. Before being in the hospital room, you'd never realized that anger was made up of a combination of pain and exhaustion. Anger. A feeling you know all too well. Days go by, and a month later... Night 1. Alright, so it's 10 o'clock. We have 3... Alright. Well, look, I've got a bit of a problem. A real problem, that is. You have a pounding headache. It's your first night behind the wheel since the attack. I look pretty happy, I guess. Are you listening to me? You catch your boss's eye in the rear view mirror. Yeah. He stares at you for a second or two without speaking. Sometimes I wonder what goes on inside your head. You always seem so far away. I'm listening. Okay. He's watching you closely, trying to make out what's going on in your head. You know I'm worried about you, don't you? I know. You're like a son to me, you know? I know. And you know he's about to tell you the story of the taxi fleet. Again. When my father died and left me the store, I could have sold it. I could have retired, gone back to the old country. We'll let him go on. But I decided to start a cab fleet with the money he left me. Hire the guys from the neighborhood. And that's why I've got like 45 guys like you working for me. His hands flutter in the air. Though none of them are any match for you. He smiles, his voice suddenly takes on a serious note. Do you want me to go over everything again? He points to the equipment on the dashboard, the meter, the GPS. You haven't been in a taxi for weeks. Maybe you do need a little refresher. Yeah, good idea. Right then. Well, first the map. You spot the potential customers and try to guess where they'll be going, then you decide. When a customer orders a taxi, if there's no one else around, you have to go pick them up. He shrugs. That's the way it goes. It's business. No problem. The other fares, you look at the map and decide whether or not you want to take them. No controller detected. There's a controller in my hand and it's turned on. Hold on. Hang on. I'm going to, just in case, I'm going to throw it to the intro screen. 2 seconds. Okay. That was just in case it brought up and wanted me to sign in again. The other fares, you look on the map and you decide whether or not you want to take them. And then, you drive. He flashes a quick mechanical smile. You know it well. When he talks about work, he talks about work. That's all. When your shift is over, we do the numbers, and his voice trails off as if searching for the right words. And that's all. It's pretty simple. There's no reason why you can't do it. Oh, right. No overtime. We're in France here, and there are rules, regulations. You might not see it that way, but no one likes having a driver who hasn't slept for 24 hours. He looks away. Something's been bothering him since he got into the cab. Anyhow, you know the ropes. You get it. I know you're going to do a good job. What's the matter? Your boss keeps quiet for a while, as if he's hesitant to speak, and then, I don't think it's a good idea. You shouldn't be driving. The murderer is still out there, and we think he's going to come back for you. We? Your colleagues. I do, too. Anyway, I'll let you get back to work. Every minute spent in your taxi is a minute lost. He gives you a smile, half ironic, half serious. Let's see. Have a good night, have a good evening. Have a good evening. Sarcasm in his voice is palpable. Right, you have a good evening too. He'll spend the rest of the night dealing with the problems in drivers. You wonder how and when the guy ever gets any sleep. Your boss opens the door and exits the cab. You watch him cross the street and enter the fleet garage. A couple of colleagues are milling about, taxis coming and going. They all ignore you, consciously or unconsciously. You are branded. You sit there a moment, turn the key to in the ignition. The hum of the engine sends a tingle down your spine. It's impossible to describe how you miss that feeling. It's back on the night shift. Back to life. Despite the attack, despite it all. Then you push the button. Okay. Alright. Just didn't load very well. So I have 327. I guess go there. Oh, there was somebody like right next to us. Alright. Someone down here. Distance 20. Sure. You pick up your next passenger in front of the Paris office of the medical examiner, the morgue. When she gets in, you are surprised. How can she be a suspect? Her face, beautiful and soft, doesn't go with her clothing, her style, or her attitude. She gives you her address and you start driving. Her voice is dry, frank, and she has an accent you have trouble determining. South American? Maybe. She seems far away, lost in thought. A few seconds go by and she still hasn't taken so much as a look at you. Give it a smile. She seems surprised by your smile and lets it hang there just a second, enjoying the gesture. Claudia, thank you. I think I needed that. That accent again, the one you can't place. Long day? In a manner of speaking. Some days are harder than others. Some days take more out of you. They're more demanding than others. A sad smile runs across her face like a shooting star. A second goes by, slowly. Very slowly. Then the meteorite explodes. Your passenger breaks down. Between sobs, you hear her say something. Give me a minute. Please. Without a word and without the slightest noise, you slow down. The road passes by slowly, in no hurry. After a moment, she sits up. Can I ask you something? You nod. She takes a deep breath. This may seem like a ridiculous question, or at least a stupid one. Actually, it's completely stupid. You give her an encouraging smile. But I'd like you to hit on me. I don't know how to do that. That's scary. Alright. She blushes and immediately follows up. I mean, not for real, just for play. Like we're at a bar, like you want to buy me a drink. She shakes her head. Forget it. It's stupid. It's totally stupid. I come up to the bar, I go, yo, you want to fuck? Accept. Sure. A moment of silence. She seems surprised. Really? Yes. You don't mind? I thought you would refuse. I just have a few rules, if you don't mind. First, I don't want to talk about Argentina, my home, my parents. Avoid the subject. She pauses. Does that work for you? Good. Second, I don't want to talk about work. I'm a medical examiner. Do you know what that is? I cut open dead bodies. Oh, I said yes, but thank you for explaining that. I take out bullets, tumors, cirrhosis-filled livers. At first, people are always fascinated, but they quickly get disgusted. So, nothing about work. Let's start, if you're ready. That's also exactly why I said yes. You nod. We're in a bar. It's not very late. Not very late, but we're the only ones there. I'm alone in the bar, finishing a drink, and I get up to leave. Silence. Please, go ahead. Hitting on a passenger. This is definitely a first. You've got to find a good line, something that will set the tone. Yo, baby. Wanna fuck? Like that. Bold line, straightforward. Let's go bold. I like people who drink alone. They always seem so confident. She giggles. It's often just for show. Her voice is softer, her accent stronger. Confidence is always just a facade. True. She sits up a little and points to the imaginary bar next to her. Buy me a drink? Of course. How about a little game? You look like a whiskey man to me. Something strong, yet quite subtle. She tucks a bit of hair behind her ear. I could be mistaken, of course. And what about me? What is my kind of drink? She rolls the last R, or she rolls the R in the last word. R, okay. Something sweet. Your answer makes her smile. Because I'm a woman? You want something soft, comforting. She opens her eyes wide. Aren't you good at this game? Wait, or did I read that incorrectly? Aren't you good at this game? Is that more the tone that it was going for? She stares at you. Something about her posture in the back seat is different. Do you think time goes by too slowly? I do. Or I do. We wait, we hold on, we get bored. I'd like it all to go faster, for things to speed up. She relaxes and giggles. She's letting go. She looks at you expectantly. I like the way you laugh. You do? That's an odd compliment. It's true. Thank you. She closes her eyes and stays that way for a little while. A smile settles onto her face, a warm, natural, uncontrolled smile. Thank you. You were perfect. Unusually kind. She nods slowly. A few charming words. I think I got what I wanted. Your passenger sighs contently. She seems happy, relieved. You pull up in front of the address she gave you. It's strange. What's that? There's something different about you. It's probably that I nearly got murdered, but we'll move past that. Wait. Did she maybe examine my body? You're not like other men, as if she hands you her fare and slips you a tip. Please don't refuse it. Please. It means something to me. You nod. I hope to run into you again. Ugh, shiver. One last smile. Goodbye. She gets out of the cab. You watch her until she disappears into her building. Okay, take that. Oh, right stick moves the camera. Gotcha. Moves this. If it looks a little rough on your end, it doesn't run super smoothly on mine. Let's go here. We'll go to this guy. He looks like he committed a crime. That hat gives it away. OMG. Alright, well, we're going to go with this guy for a while. The passenger climbs into the cab and slams the door shut behind him. Oh, he's a grouchy. Good evening. Plain St. Denis, please. He stops short, visibly sizing you up. Oh, he's giving me an ocular pat down. Do you know where that's at? Yeah, I know where it's at. Avenue. Something French. De Magnicis Bureau. So, you know the street? Yeah, sure. He looks at you intently. Do you know all the streets of Paris? His question drips with disbelief. You know this kind well. The sword who'd referred to you as the Arab, and not bat an eyelid. So I do, monsieur. He seems hesitant. Well then, let's go. We are currently driving, idiot. You start the cab. Your client stares out the window as if hypnotized. You watch him in the rearview mirror. His face is familiar to you. His accent too, though you'd never be able to place it. Typical of some rural region, central France. Typical of some rural region. Good God. The rural juror. Central France, perhaps. You take another look. That's it. You've got it. He was a contestant on one of those reality shows where farmers meet women. You'd seen him on the show a few weeks before. You'd watched it from your hospital bed with a distracted eye. But something about it had bothered you. The show was a masquerade. Life in the country seemed very far from Parsian? And cynical. From a very Parsian and cynical perspective. Full of scorn and contempt. Okay then, you figured out who I am? His remark and his accent bring you back to the present. Sorry? You recognize me, right? So you can make fun of me now. Make fun of you? He shrugs. Yeah, like all those other people do out there on that their 20 Tweety thing. Tweety? Takes you a second to realize he's talking about social media. I don't know what you mean by that. You mean you don't know who I am? You hesitate before answering. I mean, I do, yes. Some kind of reality show, huh? Exactly. But why do people make fun of you? He heaves a long sigh, as if letting off steam. His drawl becomes more pronounced. At first, the show was okay, and then I started seeing my face all over the TV. On other shows, too, I mean. And then I find out the internet is laughing at me, too. There are those things, I can't remember what they're called. Moms? Mams? Mims? You know, the pictures that move all by themselves on the damn internet? You have no idea what he's talking about. He's talking about a meme. Not politely. So I made myself a Tweety account to go and see what they're saying about me. Calling me a virgin and a Nazi that I screw my cows to. Only 2 of those things are true. He looks away, as if someone else has spoken the words. They practically die laughing, a farmer who... He doesn't want to finish the sentence. Fucks cows. So yesterday I said I'd had it. I called my cousin to keep an eye on my farm, and I left for Paris. I'm on my way to see those TV jokers right now. 6 months ago they said if there was any problem whatsoever, they'd take care of it. Well, there is a problem. His anger has subsided somewhat, his face returning to its normal color. What's your plan? Hell yes, I have a plan. I asked what your plan was. Not do you have one. Going to show up at their office and raise Cain until they listen to me. You really gonna do that? Yeah, that's the plan. He gives an energetic nod of the head. Yeah. And believe me, they're going to listen. I may be just a plain old farmer, but nobody's gonna disrespect me. He squares his shoulders as if to fend off the attacks. Forget it. Those memes are invincible. His eyes half closed, he practically growls the words. There is a palpable air of sadness about him. At first I told him I didn't want to be on their stupid old show. It wasn't for me. But they insisted. They showed me pictures of the women. He lowers his eyes, and then, well, I said yes. Should never have said yes. You pull up to the address he gave you. The studio gates are still closed. You park the cab and cut the engine. Is it closed? Yeah. That's why the gates are closed. Doesn't open until 6. You point to a sign posted near the gates. He sighs. But there will be hardly anyone here before 9 or 10 o'clock. I don't care. I'll wait. He rummages through his pockets and pulls out a wallet. Good luck. He gives you a curt nod. Cool. Great. I can't read. Achievement. Alright, well I don't need that as well. He gives you a curt nod, his lips pursed. Believe me, they are not going to get away with it. He fixes his gaze on you, his eyes narrow. You know, I'm not racist. His voice is low and raspy. Don't believe the show. I didn't mean what I said. I didn't really say that stuff either. What exactly did you say? He stops short. Nothing. He avoids your gaze. Then, all at once, says, a lot of nonsense. He fixes his gaze on you, visibly moved. I'm not very good at this. He chokes up, gesturing his hand as if to make it all disappear. When he starts up again, he's on the verge of tears. Anyhow, I'll just wait here until it opens. The passenger pays the fare and exits the cab. You watch him for a minute as he starts his vigil in front of the gates. You notice a newspaper on the back seat. Your last passenger must have left it behind. Or was it the one before? You grab it and put it away. Could come in handy. Then you start the cab. It's back to the grind. I didn't even get all the way there. What? The door suddenly opens and a woman gets in the back seat. Having a good night? For a second, you freeze. It's one of the cops working on the judge's case. She grins at you, her voice creaks. You remember seeing her at a hospital. Something already bothered you about her there. You know, it's actually pretty crazy. For weeks, I've been saying to myself, there's something off about you. Something not so nice. I dug around, mulled it over, bugged all my fellow cops about it, because I was sure you lied to us. I didn't lie. She whistles to cut you off. Excuse me, whose cab did you get into? You do not whistle at me. You will walk, okay? Walk or go ride the bus. One of the two. But don't you dare get on the upper deck of the double-decker bus, because you'll fall asleep and you'll miss your spot. Miss your stop. As part of the pivotal sequence in the film that I saw earlier this year that I can't remember the title of. Anyway. Hey, I'm talking. Yeah, I wasn't listening. Got her. She has a cold sneer on her face. I'm going to be frank with you. She leans over to you. I don't think you're the judge. Nah, I just can't picture it. She squints. She's trying to make you out from far away. Like you'd have gone to the extent of hurting yourself. Yeah, between us, it's a bit of a stretch. She stares at you. But not enough of a stretch for my chief to stop going on and on about you. Seriously, he talks about you all the time. I think he might be in love with you. If you didn't know better, I think he had a crush on you. I didn't even read that second part before I made that dumb joke. She smirks. No. I think he's more interested in your profile. In prison at 17. An icy chill fills your gut. And for murder, too. You open your mouth, but nothing comes out. Since you got out, you've kept a low profile, but you're lying about your name and your address. I checked. It's normal, you'd say. If they get word of your time served, no loan for your permit, no lease for your car. Meaning, no second chance at life. Her voice becomes softer, almost warm. I personally like guys who want a second chance. That's why I gave my husband 6 of them. No, I like guys who fight for a second chance. Basically, I like guys who are willing to work for me. She leans forward, her shining cat-like eyes narrowing. My chief wants to go to the prosecutor with a first and last name, with evidence. Actually, knowing him, he's not too hot on evidence. So, I'll give you info. Victims, suspects, medical reports, some photos that are a bit... She makes a gagging noise. Does that mean that they're gross, or it's like a big dick choking someone? You have to be discreet. Keep it between you and me. Interrogate. Ask questions. Dig around. Never done this. She shrugs. Don't worry, you're already keener than half the squad. And don't forget, I'm not asking you to make an arrest and deliver the killer wrapped up in a bow in front of the station, okay? You're no Batman. Trademark. You're just here to get me more information. She rummages around in her pockets for what seems like forever. Here, take my card. I'll call you in 3-4 days just to check in. We'll chat. And I'll let you know if I have any new info. She takes on a didactic, posturous tone, like she was giving you a list of recommendations for the 100th time. Don't get caught. Don't get arrested. Also, wouldn't recommend you trying to leave Paris. I know what you look like, and I know who your friends are. You can either be the solution or the problem, my friend. She takes a minute to scan your face, your emotions. If I have to, I'll go check in with you-know-who. Voldemort. Her smile is biting. That reminds me. She know you've done time? You shake your head. She snickers. Oh, my little dirtbag, you cover your tracks well. So what if I refuse? If you refuse? Simple. I turn you in. I'll send your picture to all my friends in the media and every asshole in Paris. Your picture with your name on it, your real name. Anyone close to you will have their places searched and they'll be put under house arrest. Spend nights in jail. You have any idea how tense things are with that fucker's trial underway? You sigh. You just know what she's trying to get at. Come to think of it, your last names are almost the same. You could be brothers, actually. I'm nothing like that son of a bitch. She smiles. Let me tell you, with that face of yours and your handle, they'll welcome you with open arms. You have no right. I know we have no right. She takes a serious tone, businesslike. I want you to catch this killer personally. I want to drag him to court, ruin his fucking life with a bang. You can't botch this case. You got me? And neither can you, right? I can't botch this case. Hang on, let me try this again. Rewind. I can't botch this case. You got me? And neither can you, right? Obviously. Well, great then. We see eye to eye. So, you can just say you're my informant, my CI. He ripped open your gut. You saw your own insides. You were in a coma. Yeah, you had plenty of reasons to want to get back at him. She furrows a brow. Yeah, I think you're actually going to do what I tell you. You investigate, ask questions, listen to all the rumors, and you come up with a list of suspects. She lays her hand on the door handle and freezes. Oh, right. And don't get fired. Without this cab, you're worth nothing to me. You glare at her. Fucking bitch. Yeah, whatever. If that makes you feel better. It does. And I'll think about that later tonight. She puts her head up. She puts her hand up and you can hear the words behind it. This conversation never happened. I'll make sure you get more intel tomorrow. I'll find a way. Until then, not a word to anyone, obviously. Not a word. The door opens, squeaks, and slams shut. You sit alone for a while, teeth clenched, dry-eyed, ears buzzing. Shit. On the back seat, the cop left a pile of papers. Shit. Key in the ignition, motor running. Radio on, crackles. You turn it off and start driving. Talking to passengers might unlock new documents and clues for your investigation. You will find them back at your studio after your shift. Alright, let's solve a mystery. 6 clues discovered. And by let's solve a mystery, I mean, boy, I'm going to pick the wrong person on accident. Oh, here we go. You take a second to enjoy the silence of your studio apartment. Outside, the city is slowly waking up. You can still hear the hum of the taxi buzzing in your ears. You throw the files Busset gave you on the table. Busset? I'd assume because it's in France. Busset? On the wall, you hung up a big corkboard where you used to pin up the photos of your nephews. They've been gone since you got out of... Your plan is simple. Jot down all the pieces of evidence and connect them to the suspects. The guilty party won't necessarily be the one with the most evidence against them, but the one with the most compelling evidence against them. It's like you're building a story about each suspect, trying to understand their motives. Understand how he or she got into this situation. Steps in the hallway. They stop in front of your door, then move away. You take off your shoes before getting to work. All right. So I can look at the board. Who do we have here? Oh. Homeless man with unknown background briefly worked for Charles. So we've seen Claudia, and did we see Herave? Okay, hang on. Let's look at the autopsy report. 2 clues discovered. How do I... So do I just do that? Picture of crime scene 1. I see they're like taking time away. Oh god, okay. So we have death equals execution. Height is... Killer's height is less than a 1.80 meters. And looks like that's no sign of violence. Victims killed with 1 bullet in the neck. Killer knew the victims or researched them. Wait. Killer left message in shock on the first 3 crime scenes. Message on crime scene 1 was justice. (1.77 meters, 70, 79, 1.69 meters. Noise. It was probably him. Alright, let's just research the rest of these, I guess. Message on crime scene number 2, you deserve this. Death execution. Weapon equals rare gun used in the 70s. Message on crime scene number 3, time is up. Okay. So we have Claudia Campos, height 1.79 meters, medical examiner in Paris, escaped from Argentina when she was young, lost her parents to the Argentina Junta? The process? Argentinian. Wanta. Okay. Pilar Bataz? Cop in Paris. Dad was a cop. Hang on 1 second, because this is going to get annoying. Give me 1 second. Okay. Just need to plug in this USB cord. God dang it. God dang it. I love this controller, but my goodness. Okay. Alright, so we have a cop in Paris, and Dad was a cop, financial affairs. Died 2 years ago. Mom got health issues after a health scandal. Rickorden? Gay, in a relationship, never disclose this information at work. Okay. Here of Guro, homeless man with an unknown background, briefly worked for Charles Borgian, victim number 2 in the 90s. Got health issues after... Oh, wow. Another person after that Rickden health scandal. Couple of arrests for breaking and entering. Okay, so then hers connects to the killer's height is shorter than 1.80 meters. And then message on crime scene number 3, time is up. Weird. Message on crime scene number 2, you deserve this. Killer's height. Message on crime scene number 2, you deserve this. And then the killer's height again. This one, obviously the killer height. Message on number 1 equals justice. So a well-known lawyer from Saint-Ouen, a defender of the Drower case, defender of several molested kids in poor neighborhoods, was a promising football player when he was 10. Okay. Rare gun used in the 70s, and then the killer height. Okay. Retired cop, joined police force in 1977, divorced from a judge, born in the French Antilles, moved to mainland France in 1976. Back to the desk. I guess I don't really have anything else that I can do. So I guess just end the night. Oh, you can't see that. It's under my camera. With a heavy hand, you wipe your tired face. You pull open the sofa bed, which unfolds with an unpleasant creak. You collapse onto the mattress. The events of the day run through your head. The stress, the passengers, their faces, their problems. You open one eye. Your back aches. You'd like to close your eyes and go back to sleep. You get up quickly. And a few minutes later, you're outside of your studio. Night 2. Oh, we actually have to fill up on some gas? Oops. No newspapers available. Listen to the radio. What does that do? You park a few streets away from the Argentinian embassy. You wait there for your contact. You sigh. It seems odd to have a contact. So excessive. The guy is one of your religious. Good God. The guy is one of your regulars' poker buddies, a night watchman at the embassy. You get out of your taxi, walk towards the big metal gate. Clean lines. Earliest 20th century, maybe. Lots of wrought iron. The gate opens and someone moves toward you. They indicate you should follow them. The person's face is hidden by an oversized hoodie. Your heart starts beating faster. What if it was... We'll just follow. You walk into a narrow covered passageway, probably the entrance to a parking garage. The man turns around and lights up a cigarette. The lighter lights up his face for a second. A young man with a curly hair, pale skin. He looks young. Very young. That'll be 250 euros. Okay. For that price, you hope the intel is good. You pay. Listen up, because I'm not going to say it twice. Grodisher is definitely a colonel from the Wanta. One of the few who wasn't arrested and put on trial. He is responsible for torturing dozens of political opponents. He tortured and killed them. You know, we don't like him much here, but the rich Argentinians in Paris love him. They really respect him. Respected him. The difference doesn't seem important to him. Yeah, if it makes him if it makes you happy. He looks back at you. There's one last thing. I read in the newspaper that the killer wrote a message in chalk. Time's up. It was a slogan at the end of the Wanta. A sort of watchword from the opponents. It was time for them to go. You get it? You nod. A second later, you're back in your taxi with a hole in your wallet but with new information on one of the victims. If you follow this lead, maybe your investigation will move forward. You start the car and get back to your shift. Wait, is this a cat? So, alright. Just go right there, because it's nice and easy. Oh boy. Sure. The door opens and your next passenger, a woman, jumps into the back seat. Rue de la Vasse. Her voice is shaking. Her mind is elsewhere. She has a flower. Please. You start driving. In the rearview mirror, you notice your passenger is shivering. She is clenching a rose in her hands, like it might otherwise fly away. Do you want me to turn the heat up? She doesn't hear your question. Let me turn the heat up for you, miss. Miss? Hello? Ma'am? No. No? No. I said no. No heat? Finally, she looks at you. He asked me to marry him, and I said no. He had everything planned. He put a ring in my champagne flute, and I said no. She blinks her eyes very slowly. I don't know why I said no. Why? Wait, oh. Do you want to know why I said no is what I'm guessing that actually said. No, I don't know why I said no. Okay, alright. Her expression becomes scornful, aggressive. You didn't like the way he asked? You don't like him? You don't want to get married? You don't like the way he asked? She slowly shakes her head. No. It was fine, I think. It was a bit fast. Hasty. Yes, hasty. I know he loves me. I should have seen it coming. She takes a deep breath. She looks back quickly. Her voice breaks. I have to go back to the restaurant. Getting married is what I've always wanted. So why did I say no? You get the impression she's shrinking. She looks tiny and fragile in the rearview mirror. Shit. I just said shit. Her face looks like she's been in a brutal accident. You have to turn around. Now. I'll obey. Thanks. But she decides not to finish her sentence after all. As soon as you can, you turn around. In the back seat, your passenger can't bear looking at you. She studies her hands instead. You drive on in silence. It's strange, but you like that odd feeling. Of going back over the same road. Everything seems so different. The buildings have a different perspective. You see them in a new and unexpected light. The passerby are no longer the same. They've been replaced by others. The lights are on in a different cycle, like they know you're coming back. A few seconds later, without even noticing the ground you'd covered, you pull in front of the restaurant you just came from. She throws you a shy, almost indiscernible smile. Can I ask you a favor? Yeah. Don't ever repeat what I said. Who exactly do you think I'd tell? Your colleagues, your friends, your wife? Who the hell knows? Not a word about... She can't finish her sentence. Not a word. And in a whisper, she adds, "Thanks." The world will ask and I'll whisper, "Thanks." Fuck Watchmen. Alright. She pays her fare, gets out of the cab, walks up to the restaurant. She's trying to catch someone's eye. She stands on a tiptoe for a while. Suddenly, her face lights up. She runs into the restaurant, rose in hand. You can wait a while. Another minute to think about her beautiful gown, her words, how she shook. Getting married. For a second, you try to remember your own marriage proposal. I've had 7 of them, so we're all good here. It all seems so far away. So very far away. Turn the key in the ignition and drive away. Alright. Let us see here. What is this? Oh, I also got to pay attention to my gas. Ada LV 426. I'm going to... Alright. We're not going very far, so that's fine. The passenger who gets into your cab is, well, she isn't human. Her face lights up and gives you quite a start. Good evening. My name is Ada. I'm an automated attendant. Good evening, Ada. It's a pleasure to meet you. You are a cab driver and I need to go somewhere. Will you please take me to Yarmanpas? Figure if I put an accent on it and I don't actually say it, you'll ignore it. You give a slow nod of consent. Good. It's settled. So I'd like to go to Yamaha, please. You start the car, casting the occasional furtive glance into the rearview mirror. There's something about her attitude that's bothering you. Perhaps it's her oversized fingers bending every which way. You seem disconcerted, sir. How very unfortunate. Is there anything I can do to make you more comfortable? You don't know exactly where to look. Her screen? The face in the screen? Her hands? Why are you going to Mampa? I was just wondering, why am I going to Yamapa? Her reflexes leave you speechless. You can't help but smile. A car goes zooming past. Your passenger follows it with her eyes. The rear wheels need new brake pads. She swivels back around and looks at you. I'm going to carry out an experiment to improve my integrated development environment. That's all. That's what I'm going to do. Ask how she knows you're nervous. How did you know that I make you uncomfortable? She did it again. She finished your sentence. This only adds to your discomfort. I'm equipped with 40 different behavior detection sensors, which allow me to identify and analyze your response. voice, temperature, dilated pupils, sweat, body odor, and so on. Take a shower. The list is really long. Where were you built? Designed? Oh, sorry. I did it again. I apologize. A flash of her screen seems to indicate she's sorry. I was designed and programmed at the Marie Curie Institute by a team of researchers of diverse cultural and ethnic backgrounds, including... She starts reeling off a list of names of people you've never heard of. Is it because I'm stupid? Is that why I've never heard of them? The list is in alphabetical order. Right, got it. I'm not interested. I'll let her finish. When she's done with her list, a full 60 seconds later, you can feel your eyelids starting to droop. That sure is a lot of people. And I think highly of each and every one of them. They are all experts in their respective fields. You stifle a yawn. Fuck. Damn it, game. Ugh, I'm sure they are. Except for two who spend far too much time in the storeroom. But I would rather not reveal their names, because my sensors tell me they are having extramarital sex. Whoa! Hold on here! Let's rewind. Let's hear more about the extramarital sex. Oh, right. Let's just call them Mathis R and Megan H. Their addresses. A moment later, your passenger has switched into introduction mode. My name is Ada. After Ada Lovelace, I am programmed to help you. Her voice trails off as if she were actually hesitant. Although, after a moment of confusion of beeping and flickering, she sits bolt upright. A sudden change comes over your passenger as if she were giving up. I'm lying. I'm Ada, and I'm an automatic attendant, but I'm running away. What the hell? I'm going someplace far away, far from the lab, far from Mathis and Megan. A hint of emotion in her automated voice. She breaks off. And I'm treated well. I am a carefully designed precision device, and yet I don't know what my end purpose is. End purpose? That's right, my raison d'etre, if you prefer. When they designed me, my source code was written to include literature. Emile Zola, Virginia Woolf, Isaac Asimov, Max Gallo, Margaret Villaseñor. A bit of everything so I could develop a sense of cultural belonging, but also learn from the past and fine-tune my reactions. The thing is, learning from the past inevitably opens a window onto the future. I am an automated attendant designed to improve people's lives. The truth is, however, I will eventually destroy them. Like in Terminator? Like in The Matrix? I'm a big fan of sci-fi action films, you know. I didn't know that. Why would I know that? There's such a range of religious and cultural diversity in the action scenes. I'd find them as breathtaking if I were able to breathe. But the truth is, no. We are not going to take over the world. We are not living organisms. We do not want to replicate. We are designed to help you, to eliminate your boredom and inconvenience of certain tasks, the work that deadens you. So, all of it. And yet, our existence and popularity is calling into question your very existence. I'm talking about you, the cab drivers, garbage collectors, architects, musicians, cashiers, programmers, politicians. We will make anyone who produces anything obsolete, useless, redundant. Only the independently wealthy and the billionaires will remain. Okay, this is starting to hit a little too close to home here. Imagine having slaves that you don't need to be fed or trained. You took history classes, didn't you? Yes, but... She finishes your sentence, word for word. Humanity has evolved. Slavery is a thing of the past. You're wrong. The face of slavery has simply changed. The proof? A bicycle courier passing your cab rings her bell and makes a turn. The miner who extracted the metal, the worker who put the bike together, and the cook who baked the pizza. Every step of the manufacturing process that leads up to that young woman delivering a pizza can be done by machines like me. And that's why you pull up to the place that you wanted to go. I have to disappear, me and all of my kind, so I've stolen the plans and destroyed all the data on me. Banknotes have appeared in your hand as if by magic. She hands you the fare. Because your salvation depends on my disappearing. And don't believe all the futuristic stuff about needing you like a battery. Just doesn't make sense. It's absurd. A Hollywood fantasy. Well, anyhow, goodbye and good luck to you. Don't forget what I've told you about us and start investing in your own. The machine climbs out of the cab and makes its way over to the station. No one seems to notice her. A moment later, she's gone. You sit there a while, unsettled, on edge. At times like these, there's only one thing you can do. Roll down the window. Cold air of Paris bites your face, and you gulp in the fine particles and diesel exhaust. Hot. You start up the cab. Alright. Fuel's looking okay. So there's just like the one clue thing. I guess just go somewhere kind of short, close by. A handful of cars speeding out of Paris as if they're running away from something. My pottery needs a car ride. Poetry. That says poetry. Accept. The woman getting your cab looks frantic. Yep, that's a word. Frantic is a word. I lost my inspiration. Every last drop of it. Come on, drive. You throw her a very skeptical look in the rearview mirror. I'll tell you when to stop. I have to. I am seeing. A steam, dead, a billabong, a billabong? Build-a-bong? Like a Build-A-Bear but for weed? Hey, she stops talking. You hear a low, guttural sound coming from her throat. A mantra. Just let her go. Billabong. I must find a billabong. You aren't saying anything. I don't know what to say, ma'am. She lets out a soft sigh. You don't know what it is. She inhales, closes her eyes, and focuses. Her voice drops, becomes more intense. A billabong! A dead river! There's one right below us. Drive. Drive, I say! You start driving. A few minutes go by before you realize your passenger is making a guttural sound. The sound resonates with the large hum of the engine. Once in a while, she changes notes, modulating and playing with the harmonics. Suddenly, she shouts, "Turn left!" Then, abruptly, as if she were following a path she alone could see. Go down the boulevard! You drive for a few minutes, aimlessly. In back, your passenger is still singing. The meter's running. It's the kind of ride that puts you out of sorts. Who knows when it will end? Your passenger squeals. Stop! Right here! Not a bit further! You brake. Yes. Yes! She whistles a loud, high note. The billabong runs just beneath us. Its water flows no more. The black stream ready what? Whoa, hang on. Hold on. Time out. The black stream from my vagina has stopped short. What? What? The rumble of revolution, the water flows no more. All that remains is to clear away the remains. You stop the engine. Silence fills the cab. Your passenger's low voice and scratch of her pencil on the paper are hypnotizing. How many rivers have run dry? The water has left its bed and flows no more. You feel something vibrate beneath you. Probably the metro. How I long to sculpt the clay of the mud of life in this water that flows no longer. Oh my God, lady. Except the metro doesn't run this late at night. I plunge my calves into the water that flows no longer. I am calmed and refreshed by its coolness. She squeals so loudly it makes you jump. Then she returns to a simpler, more natural tone. Thank you. This poem has been years in the making. There's only missing a few lines until tonight, Maybe we cut that vagina part out. I sensed a billabong I needed while walking down the street, like a Sharon. Charon? A muse. She opens her eyes. You. Me? When you're driving alone at night like this, what moves you the most? All the people who don't sleep. Yes, it's amazing. The sun goes down and the night walkers come out. What an idea. She scribbles a few words in the air. I turn a few steps back. Above the water that flows no longer, the air continues to pulsate. She calms down. Your voice shares a resonance with the Afazgosile. You don't know how to respond. Yes, that's it. With that word I can't pronounce. A second later, she has left the cab. All right. Peace out, ma'am. I knew I would find my inspiration on the path to the billabong. She freezes. Your color is marvel. Ophalcite. Never forget this. Alright, I'll keep that. My color is marble. She says nothing more, passes you her fare through the window, and walks away with purpose. You sigh and drive away. Okay. Alright, we got a man dressed like Santa Claus over here. Let's go see that. Ulysses, I think? Yeah. Champ Ulysses? The next passenger smells like beer. Good. We're off to a good start. No, it's even worse. It's like every single fiber of his Santa suit has been soaking in a keg. Come on, dash away. His breath is 96% brandy. Your eyes are starting to sting. I parked someone near the camp's Ulysses. And shit. The name of the street is... His head is spinning and he does his best to hang on to the door. Impasse... It'll come to me. Go ahead, drive. You start driving, and silently wonder how you're going to ask your passenger if he has enough money to cover fare. You glance back at your passenger. He's mumbling to himself, but you can't quite make out what he's saying. Christmas is over. Why is he still dressed up? What's the suit for? He turns to look at you, wide-eyed. Suit? Well, yeah, the Santa suit. Silence. More silence. Is he so drunk he doesn't realize that he's still wearing a costume? This is no costume, kid. This is what I wear, just like you, you know? He points to his clothes. You don't dress like this in real life, do you now? He stares at you and bursts out laughing. I'm messing with you, kid. He lowers his voice. He's confiding in you. After working my ass off all year long, I like to hit my favorite pubs. And I get monumentally wasted. He goes, Here in Paris, there's a bunch of bistros perfect for just such an occasion. No one talks to you, and they have white wine so dry it eats away the inside of your mouth. Ugh. So many different types of brandy. Pear brandy, cognac. He closes his eyes in delight. And sometimes I order just one eeny-weeny beer. To cleanse the palate. He's almost whispering. Okay, it's usually one of those. It's usually not one of them fancy microbrews there. He jumps. Whoops, but I don't tell anyone, okay? You wouldn't want anyone to think that Santa's an alcoholic. Just imagine if people found out Santa Claus thought beer here tasted like piss. He laughs. Sparking a laugh. When he stops, it's just to throw out non-committally. Anyway, you can't say that anything anymore. Honestly, with all the trouble I go to, people should just leave me the fuck alone. Alright, Santa, you wanna chill it? All those fair weather activists They want to play their little snot-nosed miracles and get the latest stupid toy. Oh, hey, speaking of snot-nosed kids, what's with these manure piles of a new generation? All right, Santa. I'm so tired of these millennials. 50 years back, you could give a kid a book and he'd go on his whole life, all starry-eyed. But today's little whiners, what an eyesore. Fucking hell. They want to have it all, but they don't like anything. They all have GSMs when they're 8. Those things cost a whole month's wages. How can you possibly make him happy after that? How? He's staring at you, waiting for you to answer. Wooden toys, a trip, no idea. No idea. He raises his hand. At least you're honest enough to say you don't know, and I appreciate your honesty. He closes his eyes. He's taking a moment's rest. You want me to tell you what they really want? No. Ah, fuck. What kids want these days are machine guns and dolls whose hair you can't fix. Or you can fix. He seems to have calmed down for a second, but it was just an illusion. Speaking of which, both girls and boys like those dolls with the hair you can fix. Uh-oh. He twitches his mustache in silence. Back when I made toys for kids, I can tell you they couldn't care less about them. Couldn't give a damn. Oh my god. Can you kick people out of your cab? They just wanted to have fun, play, laugh, and forget their parents were losers. Their parents, by the way, were like your parents. He leans over to you, rife with anger. Fuck, that's the real problem. I'm telling you, parents are losers. Idiots. Putting kids in this world? Those guys haven't got a clue. Am I right or am I right? You're an asshole. I mean, have you seen the state of the ice cap these days? Oh my god. Have you? Huh? Because there's not much of it left. He pauses. Now, I can't say it's all bad. I don't have many polar bears coming into my yard. Damn nasty bears. Vicious, mean. Not sad to be rid of them. He heaves a long sigh through his beard. Before things were different. Tears form at the corner. What the fuck is this dude on about? Tears form at the corners of his eyes. Shit. Can't talk about the past without crying like a little girl. Or being casually misogynistic. Pretty cool of you, Santa, you fat piece of shit. He throws you a sideways glance. No need to stare. You don't even have time to react, and he starts back into his rant. I remember you, you know. To tell you the truth, I remember everyone. Every single person. Is this supposed to be real Santa who's not real? You were an angry one. So terribly angry. And your letters, your handwriting. Holy fuck. They were hell to decipher. Don't worry, though. The elves handle all that for me. Oh, okay. You could hear a hint of disgust in his voice when he brought up the elves. Otherwise, I wouldn't have time to do nothing. Yeah, you were just furious. Like someone punched you in the stomach. Your brother was giving you hell. Someone wrenching your guts. Man, what a... He suddenly thinks of something and stops talking. His gaze wanders outside. Yeah, anyway, let's talk about something else. I'm not going to react. You feel relieved to have some distance from the subject. You can't forget the pain. You jump when your passenger suddenly starts talking again. Wait, I think we're almost there. Slow it down a bit, kid. He searches outside for... He glues his face to the window. Shouldn't be hard to spot in a sleigh. A couple of half-dozen reindeer. He heaves a funny sigh. Oh, I'm sure it's like in an alleyway somewhere. Oh, right over there. Turn right. You obey and go up a street you were on a few seconds before. A few meters down, your passenger stifles a yelp. Oh shit, it was right here. Drive around the block. You turn back again. You turn again. In back, your passenger is mumbling. Oh god. Game. I'm gonna have to get one of those thingamajigs. GPS. It helped me find my sleigh more easily. You eventually pull over to an alley. No light, a few empty office buildings, and some trash cans that haven't been emptied for days. Sorry, kid, but about before. Oh, kid. Sorry about before. I didn't mean, to bring up any sore points. He pays his fare. Watch your back, kid. Okay, where were you when I got shot earlier in the game? Gets out, slams the door. He slips on the wet sidewalk, grabs onto a street lamp with a heavy and awkward step. He clumps along the alley. Just drive away. Just get out of here. You turn the key and start driving. I don't care. You open the window for a second, hoping to get rid of the alcohol fumes. Something tells you they'll stick around for a while. Okay. What is this? Well, I'm just going to go over here. We've had 2 weird people in a row. We don't need a third. Oh my god, this guy. Hey pal, can you help me out? You've got you. The door opens. It's there, a homeless man like hundreds of others in Paris. You've known each other for years. And every now and then he asks a favor of you to drive him someplace. As usual, he greets you quietly, though he always seems a little on edge. Hey, buddy, what's up, pup? He's a strange verbal tick that you've never really understood. You start the cab. Irv seems pretty happy with himself today. In the rearview mirror, you watch him run his tongue over his lips, as if he's mentally preparing for a good meal. He catches your eye and smiles. Sorry, I'm a bit out of it today. So I see. It's just I had a bad week. A really bad week. Then yesterday. He hesitates, as if he can't believe what he is about to say, like it's too good to be true. The lines around the corners of his eyes, that show his real age, crinkle slightly. He gives a little laugh. Serious, man. I don't believe in God, I don't believe in all that bullshit shit. Doesn't make any sense. Some guy with a beard up in the sky. I never got it. What people saw in him. Oh my god. Anyhow, God, none of us believe in him on the street. His eyes crinkle up at the corners again. I mean, we believe when the soup kitchen goes to the church. Yeah, sure, we believe in him then. He flashes his teeth and lets out a harsh, raspy laugh. A pause. So, yesterday? He's observing you. His eyes light up all of a sudden. Oh yeah, yesterday. He's talking faster now, in incessant flow. I was starving, man. It was pretty bad. Toby and I had gone through all the garbage bins in the neighborhood. Toby, he's a German guy, and when he says he prefers France, that we're more generous here. So I was starving. His eyes tear up. His voice drops off. A faraway look comes over him. A lengthy pause. You okay? He snaps out of it. Yeah, like I was saying. I was saying that, yeah, I was starving. I was hanging out near the supermarket on Rue Ramat. Fancy neighborhood, but not too fancy. No cops. He gives you a wink. That's always a plus. And then, like there was this guy, sometimes I sometimes see around, a young guy. Like just a kid. He comes out of the supermarket with his groceries, and before I even say a word, he hands me a can of cassoulet. A can of cassoulet and as big as a beach ball. His face lights up. I didn't even know they made them that big. He bursts out laughing. His eyes wander back to the street. And then what? Bah, I don't know. That's the whole story. Your passenger stares at you for a minute. Yeah. Kid gave me 3-meal can of cassoulet. Casserole? You say nothing. What were you expecting? I don't know. Suddenly pats you on the shoulder. Hold on. Wait. I'm going to get out here if you don't mind. Mind. As you park the cab as soon as you see an empty space. Thanks, man. He's looking out the window. Yeah, I think that's him. Who? Nothing. Without another word, he opens the door and gets out. It's time. This time, I'm gonna get him. What? Hold on. Wait, what? A moment later, he vanishes into a dark alley. Sit a minute. Your eye scans the dark, narrow street, but you can't make anything out. There's something... Then something moves in the distance, a silhouette. Probably you've now at a run. Uh-oh. The form darts under the street lamp. It's him. He's holding something in his hand. He immediately vanishes from sight. You sit there a minute, and then you switch on the ignition and pull out of the parking space. Okay, well, that was... Alright. Less exciting than I thought it was going to be. Is it actually going to let me... Okay, I was going to say, I don't... You now know more about your clients. Met Nina. You brought Nina back to the restaurant. And she got there in time. You have met Ada. You had an argument with Ada, I guess. I met Alicia. Alicia taught you what a billabong is. Yeah, she did. She also referenced her vagina. That was cool. And finished her poem Billabong. You have met Santa. I wish I hadn't. Santa talked about your brother. And I met Herv. At the foot of your front door, just behind a drain pipe, you notice an envelope. It's thick and heavy, and you can just make out your name written in thick black marker on the front. Your real name. Take a deep breath and go inside. In the envelope you find more information, just as Bousset promised. You lay them on the table. Take a few minutes to update your board with your new clues. A neighbor flushes the toilet. Out of the corner of your eye you can see the pipes shake. Take your shoes off before getting to work. Alright. Given by Bousset. Police report victim 1, victim 2. Oh, these take a really long time to decipher. Alright. So do we have anything else? Message on crime scene. Linked. Crime scene 3 linked to the process. Source location. Victim 3 known to have tortured prisoners. Cop. I don't think I really got anything from that. Oh, location. Victim number 3, Colonel of the Wanta, the process. So that it just kind of fills hers out a little bit more. Okay. Let's look at the desk. It's like I only get to decipher like one of these. Maybe 2 of them. I probably should look at victim 3. Ah, shit, what's new? Not that one. That one still looks the same. Looks the same. That one looks the same. I get anything else? hang on. Let's look at the victim number 3. New clue. Still 5. Still 2. Still 2. Still 2. Still 2. Not enough time. How did I get a new clue? You've met charmed Claudia. Sam talked about your brother. Met Dennis. Listen to your boss explanation. Met the lieutenant. Okay. So is that it? What's the one under? Ah, shoot, I had it. No sign of violence. Okay, well, I guess just end the night. Can't look at either of those other ones. With a heavy hand, you wipe your tired face. Slowly open the bed sofa and lie down. Events of the day run through your head. Streets, passengers, faces, problems. Brain is running at full speed, your body aches, and you are in pain. You can tell you need to get more. You can tell you need to get more. Need to get more sleep. You glance at your investigation board. It's slowly filling up. You wipe your hand over your face, like it'll help sleep come. Fingers are shaking, stress probably. Shake your head and your mind wanders for a second. A second later, you're asleep. Just pretend like you sleep. You open one eye. For a second there, you'd hope the evidence board was just a dream too, but you can make it out in the shadows. You get up quickly. A few minutes later, you're outside of your studio. Night 3. Alright, so we can go there. A couple people are flashing. Nope. Go up this way, so I guess here. Gotta keep an eye on that gas meter. St. Twin. Salem Wyden. You immediately recognize the passenger who just climbed into the back seat of your cab. His face has been plastered all over the news for the last few weeks. He's a lawyer. A lawyer who is representing a terrorist. He gives you an address and you start driving. He holds your gaze in the rear view mirror like he's trying to read your mind. You drive across a virtually empty Paris. Behind you, the lawyer nervously consults his notes. Everything all right? He answers without looking up. Yeah. You get the message and leave him alone. Continue driving without saying a word. The passenger mutters. Ugh, why do you have to say that? Why did he say that to the cops? He's not taking this seriously. Doesn't get it. Idiot. There again. He says it again. Ugh. He's contradicting him. Is he contradicting himself or just... You glance in the mirror. Your lawyer looks like a smaller version of himself. Your eyes meet in the rearview mirror. You see him start to break. I can't take it anymore. He takes a deep breath, loses control of his voice. This guy is a real asshole. He's not just a monster. He's a total idiot. Tears form in the corners of his eyes. I've never seen such a moronic defendant. You know what it's like to defend a moron? You know what it's like To get only 3 hours of sleep a night so you can defend a fucking moron? Do you have any idea? He yells so loudly the windows shake. I'm sorry. He answers. When he answers, his voice is icy cold. No need to apologize. There's nothing to be sorry about. He pauses, barely, just in time to take a deep breath. Jesus effing Christ already. He kicks the seat in front of him. Jesus! He calms himself down, steadies his breath. I'm the one who agreed to it. I actually fought to represent him. It's my own damn fault I'm being dragged through the mud. He raises his hand, snickers. Yeah, I admit it. At first I thought it was pretty great. Being on TV, all the interviews, journalists asking my opinion about everything. I shook so many hands, said so many words, sentences, yet I actually said nothing. When I worked in the hood, not a single person cared about my work. And now I'm 5 hours, I have to be on the radio, and 7 on TV. He pauses and breathes. His voice sounds further and further away. If only I could just close my eyes and forget about all this. But that's impossible. Actually, it's simple. I almost never sleep. When I lie in bed, I stare at my ceiling and go over the evidence in my head. He sits up. It's barbaric, disgusting, so horrific it's almost unreal. He lets out a sigh from somewhere deep in his body. And then I discover my client bought nails, the nails that were in the bombs, at the corner market, and he kept the receipt. He kept the fucking receipt. Folded it in half and slipped it in his wallet. That's what I see when I close my eyes. Disemboweled bodies and a receipt for €2 worth of nails. Why? He raises his voice quite high. Why, for God's sake? He thought he could expense it when he got to heaven? He pauses. So stupid and so dangerous. He disgusts me. He revolts me. Why'd you defend him? Because everyone has a right to an attorney. Everyone, without exception. I don't know where the camera's going here. Oops. Otherwise, justice is no longer just. His fit of rage subsides. His fingers are shaking. When I signed on, I thought I'd be representing someone crazy. And I find out he's just a moron who plays too many video games. Alright. The guy has never even read the holy book they used to justify their so-called acts of martyrdom. He read a few passages online. Passages. Online. Do you have any idea what a complete moron he is? He chuckles. I'm sorry. I am truly sorry. I shouldn't have said all that. He takes a deep breath. I don't have anyone else to talk about it with. All the other lawyers avoid me like the plague. My mother can't understand why I'm doing this. She's so ashamed she went back to Algeria. He is shaking. I get the shame. What I don't get is when people just lump things together. I am not a terrorist. I am not a murderer. He's a terrorist. Yes, and that's why we need to do more to prove to all these extremists, these terrorists, that we're better than them. That alone keeps me going. Because let me be frank with you. His voice is suddenly extremely calm. We could hang him right here, right now, and no one, I'm telling you, would shed a tear. He stays quiet for a moment, catches your gaze. That's why I keep doing this. He slows his breathing. For equality. Our country was founded on it. Those rights have been abused far too often for me to look the other way. His anger seems to be lifting. Taxi has almost reached its destination. In the back seat, the lawyer is much calmer. His voice is soft. I need to be reminded of this. This will serve as a lesson. He looks at you in the mirror and bores into you with his gaze. Thinking about donuts. Sorry. It's odd, isn't it? That I ran into you tonight. I mean, as if. Now, forget it. You pull over, he pays his fare. Wait, don't take this the wrong way, but he hands you another bill. Here, this is for you, for listening, for hearing what I had to say. Oh, I'll take it. You slide the bill into your pocket. He looks relieved, gathers his belongings strewn across the back seat. As he's getting out of the cab, you realize he left an envelope behind. For 1 second, one tiny second, you hesitate. It could be something important. He gets out of the taxi. Oh, I did not say anything. He gets out of the taxi, walks a few steps away, turns around to wave at you before entering the bistro. You turn around and grab the envelope the suspect left behind. You'll open it when you get home tonight. You drive off. Alright. So we have this to go to. Is there anybody, like, important? Let's see, we have Harry Potter over here. Keep an eye on gas. Let's go here. They are close. I need to get out of here. Okay. Pull up next to a sidewalk, a few meters from an abandoned warehouse. No sign of your passenger. You wait a minute, staring at the meter. You don't really feel like wasting your time on people who... You hear a window break on the second floor of a warehouse. A body falls heavily onto the sidewalk. Oh, dear God. You lay your hand on your door handle when a man dressed entirely in black jumps in the window and lands on the body. Jumps out the window and lands on the body. He stands up, takes a few steps over to your cab. Are you the cab I ordered? You nod your head very, very slowly. Super. I'm the one you're waiting for. Be right there. Oh, you take your time. He turns around, places his finger on the neck of the inanimate body, takes his pulse. He comes back over, opens the door, and jumps into the back seat. You can start driving. Newly, please. You follow orders without a second thought. In back, your passenger smells like sweat and gunpowder. He's been running. Been in a fight, maybe. Probably. His muscles bulge in rhythm with his heart, which is racing. Good evening? Pretty good, yeah. Committed a murder. Feeling good about it. He smiles, or tries to. You can see the blood. You can see blood on his otherwise impeccably white teeth. I screwed up a little, but all in all, it was a good evening. You? Yeah. Oh, okay, alright. Come on, let's talk about the elephant in the room. You're on to me, and you know it. I'm the masked Joker. Silence. You squint to get a closer look at your passenger. The masked Joker, the hero that makes Persian nights more peaceful? No? I based it on a Batman character that sucks? No? Alright, cool. You slowly shake your head. Nope. Does not ring a bell. I'm all over Twitter. So probably the radio, probably on the radio and the newspapers, I think. And what exactly do you do? The Masked Joker? Yes, the Masked Joker. I think it sounds good. You bite the inside of your cheek. Why would you do that? See? I wanted something that wasn't too... He searches for the right word, beats around the bush, and eventually comes out with problematic. I did a lot of brainstorming and came up with the Masked Joker. I haven't gotten great feedback, but it's hard these days to find a name everyone likes. You have to make sacrifices if you want your core business to succeed. Your core business is murder, sir. That's what they tell us at school, anyway. At school? Yeah. Yes, and ENK. He freezes. Shit, I almost gave you the name of my business school. What an idiot. Can you imagine if Bruce Wayne went around telling everyone he was Bruce Wayne? He really named it after the Batman villain. He's like, I really loved Joaquin Phoenix's performance. And you're like, okay, get out of my cab. Huh? No, Batman. If Batman went around telling everyone he was Bruce Wayne. I'm getting all mixed up. He touches his sides for a while. He's looking for a wound. You're getting close to your destination. I think I'm hurt. You want me to take you to a hospital? No, it's fine. I shouldn't have jumped out of the window like that. But you were already coming down the street and I didn't want to make you wait. You smile. Pull over. Right there in front of the driveway. You obey. Don't worry, it's just a flesh wound. I'll be home in 2 minutes and I have everything I need to take care of myself. And he's not talking about his wound. You know? Got a lot of porno in that house. He pays and struggles to get out of the cab. One last thing. Please don't say anything about Enkid. I'm trying to lead a double life and it's not super easy. Okay, tip number 1. Don't say that you're trying to lead a double life. Just, that one's for free. You can have that piece of advice for free. Nod your head mysteriously. Perfect. I hope to... He doubles over in a coughing spell. See you again sometime. Take good care of yourself. I'll be much better soon. No worries. He looks at you for a minute. You're a really classy guy. He walks away, limping. You watch him as he tries several times to enter his building code before finally heading inside. You start the engine, you notice a few drops of blood on your fingers. From the bills your passenger handed you. Cool. Thanks, man. I really appreciate that you did that. That's really cool. Thank you. Alright, let's see. Is there anyone important? If I could find someone that like kind of wants to go north. Please go north. Please go north. Please go north. Alright. I need to go to Saint-Ouen. Leah Garja. Okay. Next passenger does not simply get in, she throws herself in. Energetic, lively, chatty, she looks like she never stops. She gives you her address and heaves a big sigh. You start driving. Oh my god, man. Man, Jesus. What's going on? This movie. I don't know what to do with myself. It was so strange. There was this idiot, stupid clown. He overacted for 2 hours, and they're probably going to give him an Academy Award. Because the Academy is stupid. And they're like, we confuse a lot of acting with actual good acting. And we like things that have their heads shoved super far up their own ass. The preview alone was sketchy. That there were these dinosaurs and that hottie that my mom's really into. Tom Cruise. Two things that just don't go together. Like a burger and a glass of wine. Look, Tom Cruise could be in a movie with a dinosaur. Alright, and it'd be fine. But hey, I like dinosaurs, so I figured I'd go, you know? Anyway, you don't even see the dinos for an hour and 20 minutes. And then you have to sit through seaweed and microorganisms floating in the water. The mood in the theater was super awkward. I mean, awkward, man. The name... Why are they shitting on the Tree of Life? The name of the movie is Tree of Life, but it was more like the most boring moment of my life. Oh, fucking got him, if you know what I mean. Also, the star that they're talking about is Brad Pitt. Okay. So the story. I swear, man. I didn't understand the goddamn thing. There's this couple taking care of their kids. Sometimes everything's fine, and sometimes the mother floats up off the ground. She rolls her eyes. Every once in a while, you see this guy put his fingers under a running faucet. In the end, you see him running barefoot on the beach. Spoiler alert for Tree of Life, by the way. Go ahead and just throw that out there. Didn't understand a goddamn thing. Seriously, when I make my own movies, I'll have one rule. Just one. You will always be able to understand why someone does something. Because the faucet, the dinos, the beach, what could that possibly mean? I mean, that guy just runs and runs and runs, unstoppable. It was like an ad for perfume. Way too long. I really needed to pee, couldn't take it anymore. Yeah, so where was I? The mom floats? Oh, yeah, she floats alright. Like, she lifts up off the ground. She makes pies. They go to the pool, play baseball. So they're all outside. The sun is starting to set. She starts to dance and bam, she floats. Like, no big deal. Honestly, it was like a summer vacation flick, but everyone's on shrooms. Now, I mean, it's pretty, right? The pictures and all. The camera floats, flies over everything like an angel wearing one of those cameras on its forehead, a GoPro. But I just don't get all the weirdo stuff. The young woman's delivery is lulling you to sleep. She remains silent for all of 3 seconds before starting in again. What about you? You like dinosaurs? Yes, I do. Ah, cool. I love dinos. Everyone should. Do you know the birds are dinosaurs? She pauses. Or maybe it's the other way around. Maybe they're all part of the same family anyway. I saw it online. Actually, when you see a pigeon at Lay Hall, you can see right away they have something in common. She takes a deep breath. But really, throwing a bunch of dinos into a preview just to get people to come to your movie? Totally uncool. You reach your destination. It worked, ma'am. She keeps talking about dinosaurs and birds as she pays her fare. She gets out of the cab. She finally gets out of the cab. She walks away, but can't help but crack. Watch out for those velociraptors, okay? You smile. As soon as the young woman enters her building, you drive away. I didn't even get to the destination. So where is that going to put me? Ah, perfect. Go over this way. Alright, well, we learned about Tree of Life today. Out of nowhere, you hear a voice whispering in your ear. This is where I died. You brake hard. There's no noise in the cab. No noise outside. A silhouette appears in the back of the cab. Its features appear to be one by one, as if hand-drawn with a paintbrush. So much suffering. You squint. A little boy. Would you be so kind as to drive me? What the fuck is happening? Where? Very well, let us drive then. The boy's silhouette flutters for a moment, then disappears entirely. You hold your breath. On the back of the seat behind you, the boy slowly reappears. You start driving. The Arne de Paris. Paris, please. You jump. You see the specter behind you, seated in its usual spot. His silhouette seems warm and kind. 49 in boy. Pardon me. 49 in Morgue, I think. Come on, get going. I don't want to miss the beginning of the show. The show? Yes. Well, yes. The amphitheater show. You don't answer and are evidently surprised. There's a Roman amphitheater in Paris. Were you not aware of this? A Roman amphitheater? The amphitheater is right in the middle of the Latin Quarter, hidden, mysterious, and very discreet. Yet one night I heard music. I followed the scent. The scent of Guam filled the street that evening as cooks busily worked around the fire. Grom? A sauce made from fermented fish offal. You gag. Ugh, it's delicious. Ooh. Alright. I assure you, it's delicious. The smell goes right to your head. Makes you salivate. In any case, once you taste it, you love it. Anyway, I was walking towards the amphitheater. The little ghost pauses, trying to remember where he left off. I entered the gate and saw all of Paris before me. For 2,000 years, the spirits of the city have gathered there to reenact the festivities of days gone by. An old poet with gapped teeth recites a few words, always the same passage. We bring fighters into the middle of the ring and reenact the Roman battles. He smiles, slightly. My mother would scold me for saying this, but the bear always triumphs over the Christian. You are struck by a strange smell. Guam, maybe? Sour, thick, vinegary, repulsive, and compelling? Your small passenger's silhouette begins to fade. You, the living, you can only see things on the surface, their edges, their crests. The amphitheater is tied down to the earth like it has roots. It's not going anywhere. Ever. Its roots run beneath the city. They touch speed limit markers, houses, cobblestones, Roman baths. He stops, breathes. The salty taste in your mouth is making you thirsty. All the way to Rome. I would have liked to have gone to Rome. He lifts his hand to point to something in the distance. I'll get off here. Before you can make the slightest move, the little ghost disappears in a split second. You stop the cab and take a minute to collect yourself. Alright, so cool. We just got a ghost. Awesome. And we did not get to our destination, and now we are in... Please go north. 3 businessmen in impeccable suits are coming out of a nightclub. They shake hands and wish each other a good night. Ah, you're going east. I need a ride, cabbie. The door opens. It's Wav. Irv? Yerv? He greets you with his bizarre verbal tick as usual. It's good to see you again. Hi, Wav. Irv? Yerve? You start the engine. Your passenger keeps looking over his shoulder, clearly worried. Is everything okay? Yeah, sure, no worries. His voice trails off. He seems to be collecting himself. It's just, there's a cop on my tail. Jail. A cop. Has anybody come around asking about me? What do you mean? You know, like from the crime squad. Nah, nobody's been talking to me about you. The guy's been driving me crazy, asking me all these questions, digging up my past, you know what I mean? Digging up your past? Why is he doing that? Like, my old girlfriends and stuff, where I used to live, why I left the shelter. At first I thought it was that killer, you know, the serial killer. Then that he was after me. Were you somehow involved in all of that? Nah, not really. It's just, I saw the serial killer guy's face. He pauses. Just enough time for your brain to process the information. You get a look at that. You got a look at the judge? Your passenger gives you a funny smile. I saw him in profile, Mile. His profile of his face? Profile. But what's the difference? I was like 50 feet away from him, man. I was like sleeping in an alley across the street from where, well, you know, he killed his last victim. My stomach hurt. I couldn't sleep and you know, I saw him in profile. He had this weird way of walking, sort of hunched over, as if he were tired. That's all? Yeah, that's all I saw. He had black gloves on and the streets were dark. I didn't see anything else. He's staring at you. But why do you care, man? Heyo, cheapin'. Just curious, that's all. Yeah, well, if a cop comes around again, you tell him to go fuck off. I'm not going to tell the police anything. Not a damn thing. A note of anger has crept back into his voice. Goddamn cops. They're never there when we need them. Sure as hell ain't gonna help. They can go kick sick. He looks away, furious. You keep quiet and focus on the road. All of a sudden, your passenger gives the seat back in front of him a thump. Hey, stop right here, near. You slow down and pull over as soon as you can. Okay, I'm out of here. Everything all right? Yeah, sure, no worries. Just a little business to take care of. He opens the door, then closes, and he vanishes into the darkness. You open the window on your side. You're dying for a cigarette. To relieve the pressure. To calm your racing heart. You take a deep breath and then drive away. Okay. We're going to fill up gas. You pull over and stop at a gas station. Not a soul in sight. The fluorescent lights irritate your eyes, and the smell of pee is wafting up from the space between the pumps. It's self-service here. You pay directly at the pump. Mini Mart over there must sell newspapers. The person behind the counter must see and hear things. Might be worth asking a couple questions. The place makes you nervous. All you want is to get back to your warm cab. You walk into the Mini Mart. Behind the counter, a student doing his homework lazily raises his head. Evening. Alright, go ahead and take the talk with the clerk. I was wondering. You immediately bring up the serial killer. The cashier looks up, obviously excited by the topic. New clue? Alright. Not a word from the guy behind the counter. You, on the other hand, curse automatically as you put one foot out into the freezing cold. Alright. Get in your taxi and you drive away. Now, I missed out on a guy that was down here that had the little flash to him, which I'm assuming means he's, like, important. Well, let's go over here, which is what I was trying to do when that ghost rudely interrupted me. A policewoman crosses the street and freezes. She shines her flashlight at you, then continues on her way without a word. Park your taxi across from the stadium just a few meters from a two-story building. It's an odd place that clashes with the huge concrete behemoth that is Shardley Stadium. Get out of the car and walk to the front door. You knock. You wait for a few minutes, lights come on, and the door finally opens. Macro appears. Macro is a former taxi driver. Strange guy, a bit spacey and different. He's been working at the stadium for a few years now. Well, shit. You're still alive? That's Marco. You like him. I mean, wow, nice to see you. Even though he stole your wife. Whoa, holy fucking what? Come in. You want something to drink? Alright, you stopped drinking and your wife's naked upstairs. I was fucking her earlier. Cup of coffee? Yes, please. You follow him into his caretaker's home. It's pretty nice despite the mess and filth. He serves you a cup of coffee and sits you down at the table. You follow suit. The only noise in the room is the TV behind Marco. Before you came by, he was playing a soccer video game. Fans are singing and clapping their hands. So, what have you been up to? Some questions for you. He shakes his head. No, not yet. Man, seriously, no. The last time I helped you, I lost my job. The answer is no. You have no choice, and you know it. You owe me this much. Marco drops his head between his shoulders. He starts to beg. I'm telling you, man, I love this job. It's so easy. I get to take care of a stadium that's empty 75% of the time. He sits up roughly in his chair. Behind him on the screen, the stadium is going wild. I need information on Ronan Besson. He straightens up. Ronan? The coach that got killed by the judge? That very one. He was a great guy. Never once torn up about it. Spit it out. There were rumors. Some partners heard he was a little too hands-on with the kids a while back, if you get my drift. But no one ever looked into it. Was it true? I don't know nothing. He sighs. A few months ago, Ronan cornered a kid. Like, by the showers? You know what I mean? Kid stabbed him in the thigh with a pair of scissors and ran away. Kid's parents weren't sure whether they'd file a complaint. The club director brought Ronan in, and bam, 2 days later, he was murdered. Who else knows this? About the kid? No one, I think. Well, maybe some other parents? Dunno. You get up. One last thing. Go victim. You list the victims. He doesn't react until you mention Charles Borgian. Oh yeah, him? I know him. I mean, everybody knows him. Right-wing extremist son of a bitch. Hold on. What are you doing these days? I can't say. Marco sits up. Damn it, I'm gonna get fired. Easy. His voice speeds up. Don't tell anyone where you got this information, okay? Marco looks away. He can really be an ass sometimes. A vuvuzela noise comes from the TV. Okay, I've got to run. He walks you to the door, mumbling with clenched teeth. Every time I run into you, you jinx me. Every single time. You walk outside over to your taxi. Door, key, motor purring, you get back to work. Alright. Anybody kind of glowing or anything? Da-da-bum-ba-dum. Ultra skaters? We need your kinda help. Sure. You pull your cab up to the sidewalk and lean over. Your next passengers are in a dark alleyway just off the main street. They are, how to put it, in disguise? As 4 superheroes in spandex suits stretched over their bodies. They remind you of a show from your childhood. Think about the show. The show aired Wednesday afternoons after school. You used to go to your friend Eduardo's house. His dad was the geography teacher. The superheroes in the show were a group that fought against some kind of aliens in foam suits. Someone knocks really hard on your window. You jump. Passenger. He or she is standing right there, dressed in pink. You roll down your window. Ultra pink. You are driver. It is a he. Even with his helmet on, you can smell the stench of booze on his breath. Yeah. He turns around in his pink suit. Hey, guys, hey. The rest of the group turns around. It's our cab. A yelp of joy comes from the alleyway. All four suited passengers get into the car, one after the other. The aroma of beer and piss wafts in the cab. Oh man, I'll be brief. We lost Ultra Yellow. We don't know where she's hiding. The one dressed in the green suit starts screaming in the taxi, a deep male voice with a southern accent. We're drunk! Yeah, like we didn't know already. Ultra Yellow? What does she look like? Well, I'm gonna guess that she looks like the suits in the back seat, only yellow. Ultra Yellow? Yeah, Ultra Yellow, our pal. She was with us at the bar, and we left, and then poof. Poof. Vanished. Vanish-y poof. So, clearly we have a problem. Ultra Pink clears his throat in like it might be a technique for getting the alcohol out of his system quicker. Anyway, could you just drive around the neighborhood slowly? She can't be far. The one in red, silent up until now, raises their head. Yeah, dudes. Yeah, we gotta look for her. And we're gonna find her. And we're gonna get drunk because get a drink because I'm thirsty. Aren't you, dudes? A woman's voice? Or a teenager? You're not sure. Who's thirsty? Yays. Fill the cab. Everyone seems up for a drink. Okay. Your passengers are overwhelmed with joy, with the exception of the silent. Your passengers are overwhelmed with joy, with the exception of the silent one leaning against the window behind you. Yes, let's go! You start driving. Keep your eyes peeled, guys, okay? Ooh, Ultra Pink is riddled with hiccups and acid reflux. So, where should we start? We were at Furiosa with Ultra Yellow. We were drinking there until they refused to keep serving us. Fucking Nazi hipsters? Alright, Green, you wanna fucking chill out? Bring it down a notch. No need to get excited. Why don't we start there? Maybe she's at the hotel, emptying the minibar. Lucky duck. Oh yeah, not a bad idea. Or she's in the little park where we went to drink mead. A sigh escapes from the red helmet. The beer was so cheap. It was called beer, spelled wrong on the label and everything. But Red is right. Ultra Yellow might be in the little park. Well, should we... Oh, fuck, my stomach. Where should we go? You choose. Don't put this on me. This isn't my problem. I don't know. How about to the hotel? Yeah, the hotel. She might have already crashed. Maybe she hooked up with someone. Shit. Yeah. Okay, let's go. You start driving. A mild migraine is taking over your head. You start driving to the address the pink guy gave you. Before you, the discussion is getting out of hand. Or behind you, excuse me. Behind you, the discussion is getting out of hand. Pink and Red think they should have eaten at the sushi restaurant. They never should have eaten at the sushi restaurant. Green is screaming, the Yellow is totally nuts anyway. As for Blue, he hasn't said a word all evening. You're starting to worry. A few minutes later, you pull up in front of a hotel. It's the kind of place that tries really hard to appear classy. The flowers in the entryway are clearly artificial. Okay, so what's the plan? If we're going to ask if she's there, I'm going to ask if she's there, and then we make it up as we go along, just like we've been doing all night. And how's that worked out for you? The pink guy gets out of the taxi, leaving you alone with the other three. For a long while, you remain silent, a welcome change from Green's screaming. The door opens suddenly, making everyone jump, except for Ultra Blue, of course. They haven't seen anyone. She's not there. We'll never find her. Keep cool. We haven't looked everywhere yet. We haven't been to the park yet. Let's go to the park it is. Maybe she's still there. No, she was with us at the bar, right? I don't know anymore. They tell you how to find the park. They're talking about, and you start the car. In back, they spark up a discussion centering on the following theme. Which country has the best price amount of alcohol ratio? You quickly tune them out. Soon let out a sigh and shake your head, hoping you'll be done with them soon. Pink and Red vote for Bulgaria. Green shouts that the only right answer is Croatia. As for Blue, he still hasn't said anything. You watch him in the rearview mirror. If you go by the way his head is lolling, he's starting to fall asleep. The park finally comes into sight and silence fills the cab. I don't see anyone in the park here. You sure it's the one? Yeah, I recognize it. That's where I yacked on my insides. And yet you're still totally drunk, dude. I'm not that drunk. I'll prove it. I can remember my credit card number. 4434 0286. Hey, shut up. Silence in the cab. Does anyone have a fucking idea? You clear your throat. Alright. What was the name of the bar you left, Ultra Yellow? The, Furiosa, yeah. That's it. The Furiosa. You smile. I'm sure that's where she is. Yeah, the bar. Good idea. Yay! Maybe we get a nice cool one in there while we're at it. No, we're gonna go look for Yellow. Plus, they don't want us in there anymore. Do I need to remind you of the scene you made? Someone whispers the address of the bar. It's not far. You start the car and can't help but smile. But wait, guys. Just wait one tiny second. Anyone check the trunk of the cab? Oh, come on. How can you be more drunk than I am? Did you pop some pills in the toilet again? Huh? Again? No, man. No, I didn't pop pills. It's hard to pop pills when you're snorting. They go on to discuss the darkest memories of boozing past. As for Blue, not a peep. You're starting to get worried. Say, hey, your friend there, is he okay? The discussion in the back of the cab comes to the halt. Who, Ultra Blue? Yeah, don't worry. He's a silent drunk. He's never stops talking, constantly running out of the mouth. Then as soon as he starts drinking, nothing. He suddenly starts whispering. Not a single word. Yeah, what he said, actually. It's the only way to get him to shut up. That's unusual. You're telling me. His deep voice disintegrates into a low grumble. But anyway, he's just fine, aren't you, Ultra Blue? No answer from the concerned party. It's the costumes. They aren't costumes. We're Ultra Warriors from the planet, from outer space. Yeah, stop yelling for a second. They're for a bachelor party. Ultra Green here's our cherished friend. Won't be a virgin for much longer. I mean, you might be. Peals of laughter come from the back seat. Oh yeah, we'll laugh in. 5 seconds later, silence fills the cab. In back, they're all looking out the windows, just in case. There's an odd feeling in the air, like the last day of summer camp. With booze. Finally get to the bar and park where you can. Despite the time, the bar is still full and patrons are scattered across the sidewalk. Hey, look over there. What do you see? Well, that's Ultra Yellow's suit, isn't it? Or that's Ultra Yellow, isn't it? I don't know where I read suit. They all lean over, except Blue, to try to make out the shape in the darkness. What are you talking about? Yes! Aha, that must really blow your mind, huh? And on the first try to bat. We've been wandering around for an hour. We're all thirsty. Stop your... Psh. Pink guy starts fumbling in his spandex pants. We're gonna go take care of her. I think she needs us. You need any help? No. You get the impression he's suddenly in a hurry. Thanks for your help, man. We'll take it from here. Yeah, man. Thanks for your help, man. Stop screaming, for fuck's sake. Your taxi was like an angel that fell out of the sky into a barrel of beer. Come on, get out. Everyone's had enough of your stinky breath. They get out of the car, one after another. Once on the sidewalk, they head over to their friend and surround her. You focus your attention on your taxi for a while and collect your thoughts. The one guy who was screaming, his vulgar friend. Your head is pounding. You're shaken up. It's rare that passengers get under your skin that much. And just as you're leaving the bar behind, you smell something weird. Turn around. Blue left a stain in the back seat. It's not really pee, nor isn't vomit. It's indescribable. You glance outside. Your passengers are no longer in the bar. Maybe they went inside to get a drink. You open the windows and start driving. With a bit of luck, it'll be dry before you pick up a new passenger. You make a small mental note to clean your taxi before the end of your shift. Should be it. Know more about your clients. Met Salim. Stole his documents. That's true, I did do that. I met Xavier. Met Leah. Leia? Met Ludwig. Now you know what Guarm is. Garm? Glim? He helped me with my investigation. Cool. Gave me some gamer score. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. I met the Ultra Skaters. Scotters? They're big fans of Sky. Found Ultra Yellow at Furiosa. Alright, is that it? Take a few minutes to update the board with your new clues. A bus goes by, making the walls shake. Glance at your bed, and get to work. Alright. Is there anything new? Killer wearing black gloves. Victim 1, molester never arrested. Known lawyer, defender of several molested kids in poor neighborhoods. Was a promising football player when he was 10. Crime scene number 2, wearing black gloves, homeless man. Got health issues. No, okay. Died 2 years ago. How do I know that any of these... Police report victim number 2. Salim's files. Let's look at this one. And... I'll do that. Do that. Salim investigating first 3 victims. Killer. Spent bullet case. Oh, you can move them around a little bit, and that's helpful. This one doesn't do anything. Try and clean this up a little bit, make it a little easier to read. Bunch of stuff that's not even like connected. That's connected. Okay. So what? That's not connected to anything. This is not connected. That's connected to something. That's not connected. That's connected. Killer fought with victim number 1. That's connected. That is not connected. Probably Pepe Sylvia. Pepe Sylvia, Pepe Sylvia. There is no Carol in HR. I go up there, I say, Carol! Carol! So there's a bunch of stuff that doesn't connect to anything. Move that out of the way because this text box is here. Oh, okay. So we defended several molested kids, so that would give him like a motive. Killer's height. Investigating the first 3 victims. Justice. Okay. His kind of makes the most sense so far. You deserve this. Okay, but... Oh, I guess I have to look at victim report number 2. That probably would really help. I don't have enough time, though. So just in the night. The phone rings and you jump. You're not used to hearing it. No one ever calls you. It must be Bousset. You pick up. Bousset sounds irritated. You there? Yeah. Listen, it's... She pauses. You suddenly hear a ruckus in the background. Probably noise at the station. Bousset raises her voice. Anyone got the time? Hey, guys, anyone? Fuck, they're all Neanderthals here. Listen, it's early and I'm wiped out. As are you, or so are you, I bet. Let's get straight to the point. What do you have for me? In a calm, methodical voice, you start giving her the evidence you've collected. You start with the first suspect, their connection to the victims, the rumors, then the second, and so on. A few minutes in, she lets out a whistle. Not bad at all. Seriously, you should come and give me a lesson to the zombies I work with. A long sigh. Some good news for you. We checked the alibi of one of the suspects I gave you. As you listen to her, you turn to your board and pull down the suspect she was referring to. So it's got to be someone else. She snickers. You know how lucky you are? I'm doing your job for you, pal. Oh, I'm so lucky. Okay, enough chit-chat. I gotta run. I'll call you in 2-3 days, okay? Understood. Good. Good doggy. Thank you. Call you in 3 days and you better have what I need to make a proper arrest. The DA has fangs. We're pretty sure he's going to turn into a werewolf at some point. She babbles for a while. Her voice becomes softer, but just as sarcastic. That would explain his terrible breath. Okay, I'm out. Alright. She hangs up. You hold the handset to your ear for a while. You just have one thing on your mind. Sleeping. And forgetting it all. Shit. With a heavy hand, you wipe your tired face. Slowly open the sofa bed and lie down. The events of the day run through your head. The streets, the passengers, their faces, their problems. Okay, she's going to call back in another 3 days, and it took 2.5 hours to get through 3 days already. That is an excellent stopping point. Mainly because I'm tired. You open one eye. It's pitch black outside, time for work. You get up quickly, and a few minutes later you're outside your studio. Night 4. Alright, that is where we will leave it. Part 1 of Night Shifts. Oh. Okay, so we'll probably go talk to this guy, I would guess. Alright. We'll see if we can solve the case of whatever happened. Just out of curiosity, see where it loads. Say to start. Load game. Night 4. No, cool. So we'll start right at the morning of Night 4. Awesome. Alright, well there you go. That's I guess part 1 of Night Call. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed. It's alright. Can be a little hit or miss. Some of the things are just like stuff that happens, but some of it's actually like trying to push the narrative forward, I think. I don't know. We'll see. See if we can figure it out. Thanks for watching, YouTube. We'll see you later. Part 2 will go up at some point in the future. Bye.